If you click this video, you are likely having a problem with Call of Duty Warzone, and I'm here to tell you, you are not alone. There are a lot of people having a lot of different problems, and I wanted to take today's video and put it all crammed into one video so you knew what the heck was going on. If you find this video informative, do me a favor, drop the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to never miss another video. But let's go ahead and dive in. To keep from being too biased, I'm gonna just basically put these in a random order. That way we're not counting down to what's the most important, because to everyone, it's going to be a little bit different. You guys may have issues with audio where other people may just really want an FOV slider. So we're going to go through this in a completely random order. That way everyone's happy. I will say, however, I have put together about 4 items that I think are the most important thing to the community, because that is what I keep hearing about over and over and over. So without further ado, let's talk about bloom. The very first problem that we have is going to be something that Raven Software has already somewhat talked about, and they believe that it doesn't really have a place in Battle Royale. However, because these weapons were ported over from Vanguard, we have this one little feature called bloom. Now, if you don't know what bloom is, it is actually a feature that basically makes it where your aim is not your aim. It makes it to where your shots will shoot at someone, but will just kind of be around that area, which is really dumb, because if I aim at someone, I should shoot the person, right? Well, for some reason, Vanguard thought it would be great to throw that in there. I don't know what the deal was with Sledgehammer Games this year, but they thought, you know what, bloom sounds great. And because of that, we have a game that is a Battle Royale that is now having a lot of problems. Now, you might have heard of bloom before because of Fortnite. And in Fortnite, they do have bloom, and they don't really have a ton of issues with bloom. However, they have done things that make it easy to deal with bloom. They made it to where you always have the first shot as very accurate. They've made it to where, you know, like, you can get super close and it's not as much of a problem, which I guess is also in Warzone. However, in this case, they've still not taken out bloom in all of the weapons in Call of Duty Warzone Pacific. So we end up in a situation where you could be shooting at someone and your bullets could just miss altogether. And that is a big problem, and that is something that I run into constantly. So don't worry, you're definitely not alone on that one. If you feel like your shots are missing, they are, and it's probably not your fault. Then again, you might just suck, and I'm sorry that it is what it is. The next thing is something that I personally just find a little bit peculiar, because it's something that was not hurting anyone at all, and in fact was helping people level up their guns, and that is going to be removing a specific contract. I believe it's called the Top Secret contract from Plunder. Now, if you didn't know, this top secret contract would make it to where you could basically level up one gun in about an hour, which still, at the end of the day, will take 35 hours to level up all your weapons. And that sounds about right. In fact, it helped you level up your character very fast as well. And I did this. I did it a ton until all of a sudden there were a lot of YouTube videos out, and then the contract disappeared. And we were all wondering what happened. Well, because this is something that hurts their sales of the regular game, Vanguard, and because it keeps people from buying blueprints, it seems like they took it out and have no intention on adding this back. And the thing that they hid behind was that they actually took it out because it was giving too much experience and it was unintended. But in reality, obviously it was intended. There was nothing about it that was glitched or anything like that. It just happened. So for them to take it out, it was just like kind of a slap in the face to those of us that really appreciate the game and are having fun on the game and just wanted to level up our guns, because they were like, oh, you're actually going to have to put, I don't know, 7 hours per gun in Warzone, which is insane. It would take 10 full days to level up all of your 35 weapons if you did that, which is mind-boggling. I don't know how we got to the point to where it's like we don't want people to level up their guns fast so that they can enjoy the game. But I feel like that shouldn't be a problem. And that brought into question something that I've been hearing over on Twitter quite a bit, which is, should we even have to level up our guns to play Warzone? I realized that over the past 2 years, that's something that we had to do. We had to level up these guns in Black Ops Cold War. We had to level it up in Modern Warfare. But at the end of the day, why? Why are we doing that for a Battle Royale? It doesn't make sense that we should have to level up to get these attachments to play with something that is the meta. In fact, I think it's just overall odd that that's even like a thing. Like, how is it that we play a game where it's free to play, but to get the attachments in a fast manner, you have to buy something? I get it. I understand it's a money-making tactic and they have to make their money, but it's still, at the very least, a little weird and at the very most a little scummy if they know exactly what they're doing. On top of that, this is just something that I found odd. Why is it that when you buy a gun, a blueprint from the store, when you change the attachments, the camo doesn't follow the attachments? What's going on there? I feel like that probably needs to be a discussion, because back in Black Ops 2 and basically any game before Modern Warfare, if you bought a skin for your gun, if you bought a camo for your gun, it worked no matter what you put on it. But now it's just not the case. Is that a little odd? I don't know. You tell me. The next thing, which is actually a pretty big one, is constant crashes in Warzone Pacific. This is something that is overwhelming and is something that has basically made me want to lose my mind, because I'm literally constantly having to reboot the game over and over and over. I'll get 3 games deep, we're having a vibe and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden, bam, sorry, it froze and you guys were on a roll. And in fact, not only did it freeze, but that game you just went in and you were on a 3-win streak, finally, well, sorry, bud. Get wrecked. Good luck. It is now not a win, and you're not on a win streak because you got kicked. And now your teammates have to back out, and, well, sorry. So what's the deal with that? I don't know why there's so many issues. I know that when the game first came out, when Warzone Pacific first came out, I was in the Discord with all of the other creators, and apparently they shipped out an update that was meant for stability, because obviously there's been some stability issues, and I know they fixed a little bit of it, but obviously we still need a lot more fixed. So I'm hoping that we can see something that fixes a lot of these crashes, and we need it soon. We cannot have these 2 weeks to a month turnaround times on all these issues that we have. Send a quick update for the small things that you're fixing, instead of just waiting to fix a bunch of things all at once, because it doesn't make you look better. It's not super cool to do that. This isn't some update that fixes issue. If just fix one thing and push it out. Okay, we just need this one thing fixed and push it out so the game's not crashing and we can enjoy it. Because the more that the game crashes, the more personally I know that I don't want to play. And oddly enough, somehow this glitch is back. We have invisible players, and I mean players that, well, aren't really invisible, but they are only ahead. And I don't mean like they're ahead of me. I mean they're literally ahead. They are just ahead. So that's a thing, and I've gotten some tweets about it, and I've seen it on Reddit, but this is an odd texture glitch that's been going around, and sometimes you just are only ahead. I don't think it's a specific problem with any specific character. I think it's just an issue with loading in textures. And on top of that, we are seeing things where guns are giving you a weird texture glitch where it looks all spiky. And that is, again, another problem that we're seeing constantly, of things that have been a problem in the past and somehow make it into the future, which is now the present. I don't think that's how time works.
I don't think that's how time works.
That is where we're at with texture glitches. Obviously, there's a problem there. And again, this is a situation where it's like, hey, if you get this fixed, please just push it out. Stop giving us big updates for these things that are little glitches, and instead just push it out now. Now for the obvious problem within Call of Duty Warzone that really isn't much of a problem anymore, but is still something that we're seeing, and that is going to be cheaters. However, I need to say this. I have ran into maybe 3 cheaters since the beginning of Warzone Pacific. One, I know that one of the cheat sites went... As of recording this video, the Ricochet anti-cheat just went live, which is huge, massive, absolutely insane news. Thank God that it's live in North America. So basically, everything that I said is still kind of valid, but I just wanted to say that they are working on things and they are making things happen behind the scenes, and that is why I'm so happy to see the changes that are happening within I'm gonna say Activision, but really just like Raven Software and stuff like that. I know that we've been having a lot of issues with like the trickle-down effects of like bad leadership, but this is absolutely massive news and a massive W. Let's see how it works out though. I've seen plenty of streamers already run into them, and I don't want to continue to run into them. Now for our hot topic questions. Expel, when's the FOV coming? I don't know, dude. I don't know. They haven't told me anything. I don't know what's going on. I do know that they are trying. I know that they have been trying to add FOV to the game, but it is something that is having issues on older generation consoles, and it's something that could be breaking the older generation consoles, and that is the reason they have not added it. I imagine they have no issues with having it on Xbox Series X or whatever and PlayStation 5, but I know that on older generation consoles, they are having issues, and they're probably trying to cater towards them, and that is why we are not seeing that happen for all consoles. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing that you're on an older generation console. There's no poor shaming here. Please, for the love of God, I just know that. But I want you to know that it's going to take some time. They keep saying that they are trying to get FOV. They've actually said, a dev has come out and said, we are trying to make that happen, but it is just not happening yet. And I know it should be out, and I agree that it should be out. But I also know that if they say they're trying, if a dev is saying they're trying, I'm not talking about Activision or their PR person or anything like that, but if a dev is saying that they are trying to make it happen, know that they are trying to make it happen, because the devs are good people, okay? The devs are good people. The PR is good people, but it doesn't mean that they're not being pushed certain things to make it seem like it's better than it is from some of the higher ups. You know what it is, what it is. Our second hot topic question is, hey, what the frick is going on with the loadouts, man? Where are my loadouts at? Do I want the loadout later? No, I don't. Okay, where's the loadout? Let me have the loadout. I think that we have two options here. One, make ground loot a whole heck of a lot better. Or two, we allow loadouts to be bought and it just costs more money. I think loadouts costing $25,000 would not be the worst thing in the world. Okay, I think that giving everyone the Oprah loadout is fine. Loadout, 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 loadout. But they need to add ground loot that is actually good, because what the heck is this MG stuff that keeps happening, going around all over the place? This needs to get fixed. This is unbelievable. Please, for the love of God, fix that. Give us better ground loot if you're going to force us to get a loadout later. I understand the reason why they added the loadout later is because they knew that no one bought Vanguard, and they knew that no one was going to have attachments, and they knew that everybody was going to be on the same level if they didn't add the loadout early in. However, the game was built on loadouts. Everyone got used to having loadouts, and that is why Call of Duty Warzone thrived in the way that it did. Obviously, it went downhill because of, you know, being stale and stagnant and having cheaters. But those loadouts and those buy stations made a huge difference in the way that the game was played and what made Warzone very successful. So having them drop later may show as an issue when the community as a whole doesn't really like it. But in reality, I need you guys to remember that we are the minority. The people that are watching these videos, the people that are making Twitter comments and reaching out to the devs and stuff like that, we are the minority. There are 90% of players that don't even get their loadout until the Oprah loadout anyway. They don't. They never have. So that is why whenever they do that, they are going to focus on this huge group that doesn't get their loadout until it drops for free anyway. And that's why it doesn't affect them. That's why they don't really care to change it. Now, we might see it get changed, but it doesn't mean that we are the majority still. Okay, we are the minority. We will continue to be the minority, and that's okay. That's all right. Just know that if you are talking about it, your opinion is less valuable to them than the numbers say. Now, on top of that, because of the loadout situation, we come into another hot topic question, which is the map. Because the map and the loadout drop situation together changed the way that everything is played entirely. Where we've ended up is in a basically traditional battle royale. Other than having your loadouts a little bit later on and stuff like that, a traditional battle royale is played where basically positioning is everything. Positioning and gun skill are everything. And that's kind of where we're ending up because of the way that the map and the loadout is. Basically, because the map has so many levels on it, because you have that big mountain going up to peak, because you have so many mountains and hills that you have to go up constantly, that is going to make it to where positioning is everything. And I don't think that inherently having the map the way that it is bad. It's just a whole different game. And a lot of people are having issues with the map as a whole. What I would recommend to those of you that are having problems with the map is to stop thinking about Warzone. Stop caring about Verdansk and take a step back and react to it the way you would with a brand new battle royale. If you want to play it like an arcade shooter, you can, but to a certain extent, because this is going to take a little bit more brain power. You can see in people's COD trackers like Iron that if you are smart, you will win most of the time. And the reason why is because it is all about positioning, all about gun skill, and all about smart. If you are smart, that was a bad sentence, by the way. If you are smart, you will thrive in this game because you'll know how to outplay your enemies. And it's not just about movement and stuff like that, because movement will not get you wins. You need to know positioning. You need to know tactics and things of that nature to get these wins. And that is why people are having so many issues with the map, is because they're treating it like they did Warzone, which was basically an arcade shooter. Yes, there were these little hints of knowing that positioning will win gunfights. And overall, yeah, that will always win you gunfights in any battle royale positioning, because the way that the circle moves, the way that you position yourself, it's just gonna basically add up for easy wins. But in this game, it's not just about push, point, shoot, slide, jump, stuff like that. It's all about positioning, and it's all about gun skill. So if you are having issues, think about the game completely differently. And lastly, my personal issue that I've had with Warzone is going to be audio. I don't know what's going on with the audio design in this game, but for some reason, we are having the worst audio I've ever seen in any game in my entire life. I swear to God, I've played games on Atari that have better audio design than this game. It makes absolutely zero sense. And I need to say, whoever the sound guy is, listen, brother, I'm sorry. I really am, because I'm about to lay in, and I know that this is your baby, and it sucks so bad. Your baby's bad. Your baby's real bad. Your baby makes no sense, okay? Because what is going on, man? Why are there bombs exploding in the sky when I'm trying to hear footsteps that I couldn't hear in the first place, because the audio design doesn't give you any idea of whether or not they're above you, whether or not they're even close to you. I can literally be right beside a ladder. The dude doesn't have dead silence, and he comes up the ladder right beside me, and there's no shooting or anything going on, but I can't hear it. I can have a guy run up behind me with no dead silence, and I will not hear his footsteps, and I don't understand it. I've tried out a new setting which helps ever so slightly. You hear a little bit more footsteps. It's midnight mode. If you guys don't know, I made a whole video about it. I highly recommend watching that video because it has its strengths and weaknesses in the video. So please check that out. But for the love of God, the audio's bad. We need this fixed. I'm about to lose my mind with whoever added bombs in the sky. It wasn't there when the game first came out. It came out, and then all of a sudden, why? So as of now, I think that's most of the issues that Warzone Pacific is having in itself. All right, just Warzone Pacific. Vanguard overall has a lot of issues that are on Reddit, and there was a huge long 140 problem Reddit post that was posted. And at the end of the day, there's going to be problems, there's going to be glitches, and I can only hope that a lot of these get fixed quickly. This is my letter to the devs. Please listen to the community. Work with us and allow us to help you make the game better. Don't listen to the whiny content creators. Listen to the ones that genuinely care about the game and want to see it better, not for them, but for the community. If you enjoyed, drop a video like, subscribe to the channel, and notifications on, and that way you never miss another video. Have a good one. Peace.